The next round is on Via 3 Protectorate. So this one is another big red map. We're going to see several big red maps in a row because I think the semifinal on the winner's bracket was on, hold on, let me remember, Bermuda Locket. Before that was Theta Passage. Now the loser's bracket final is on Via 3 Protectorate, and then the final is going to be on the pizza map. Canal Crossing, or whatever the name of it is. So get used to that blood red screen in the background. Ajax is on the north side. Winston Smith is on the south side. We've got Seraphim going first and second land with a rather conservative power build on this side. And on the south, we have Winston going for first land, second I know not what, but he is building P-Gens. He is actually moving to the other side of this power generator. I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. Oh, he's building 2 mass extractors. That's what it is. And then his other 2 power generators. So we've got a total of 7 land factories planned. I am sure now that the ACU is probably going to be walking to this side. Nope, he is queuing the same thing on both sides. A perfectly symmetrical build, oddly enough. So he's got a total of 13 factories. Hopefully not a bad luck omen. On the north side, Ajax planning out 1 and then 2 and 3 and then nothing on the south side as of yet. So this is actually a very interesting thing. There's a fair bit of manual reclaim on this map. You can see right here. Yes, lots of reclaim. Maybe not even manual. Just queue up an engineer, go in there, attack, move order, and there's a lot of rocks in a row. So what's happening is Winston is depending on early units. So he's building his factories closer to the base. He's depending more on reclaim, less on expansions. And he's hoping that the earlier beginning in production will allow him to have a vastly superior number of tanks, at least for the early part of the game. And that is a very good point. It's something that I often do by mistake. When you wait to build your tanks till you get out to the expansions, yes, it's valuable to have factories out here. But by the time you figure the transit time and then building the factories, or even out to here, your units are coming out so late that it can make a critical difference in how the game goes. Whereas with this, you're getting them up very quickly. And you also have a convenient group where you can select all of the factories, queue to the right, queue to the left, you're good. I like how Winston is setting this up, but we've seen several games from Ajax so far, and if we've learned anything, it's that he can bring it back even from the most dire of circumstances and win it. I'm sorry, I was distracted by something very briefly. Okay, we are going to see how this turns out. Obviously, it's going to be a slow start because this is a relatively large map. I'm actually going to speed up to +1 to try to catch up where they're at with the live replay. I am very surprised that there was no early air from either side. Looks like we've got third air factory going down for Winston. And for Ajax, you would think that a T1 bomber would be more valuable than that. But I also had a thought. If you're assuming that most of the engineers are staying close to the base, and a lot of them aren't necessarily traveling outward early in the game, your bombers might not be as valuable. Or maybe it's just purely coincidental that both of these people have very similar early builds. That is a lot of adjacency, friends. A lot of adjacency. Many more T1 power generators going down for Winston, who has decided on a right side path for his ACU. So he's got 1 less land factory over here, doubled up on the land factories to the north, where his ACU will not be. And it looks like Ajax has actually moved to the opposing corner. So these guys trading blows on the map control even before they have scouted each other. Speaking of scouting, we now do have scouts on the south side for Ajax, and Winston is going to be moving scouts into the north in order to get a handle on what is going on. So here comes the build power. Got 7 more factories queued for a total of 9, 11, and 12. Might be a minute before they start building, but there are 3 engineers building those center factories, so they will come online rather quickly. Looks like Winston is building all of his factories with a single Engie, so it will take some more time to get those online, so that early advantage that I was talking about may not actually be as big of a deal as I thought it was. Tanks and a scout moving over to this side. First raiding unit coming in for Ajax, which is going to fail epically, I do believe. Tank versus tank. Intel versus Intel. Striker's going to get the first blow off, and it looks like that is just totally going to get bypassed because Winston was not paying attention. He does have another tank moving over in this direction, though. Going to lose one engineer, possibly two. Tank continuing to do damage. Sam is going to wipe out the second engineer before dying to a striker. And that, friends, is all she wrote. This Tham, you could be so much more useful if you just move slightly south. And as if he was hearing my observation, Ajax moves him just a little bit and snags that engineer before the mechs can even be built. Well done there. That is a hell of a lot of build power to be dropping factories with, Sonny. We've now got 2 engineers on each side, a total of 9 factories either built or in progress, while on the north there are 7 built or in progress. So a nice little advantage to Winston Smith. If he keeps up the double engineer build, he will in fact get those factories built sooner than his opponent. Okay, back to settling in. Looks like both of these guys are going for relatively unaggressive eco builds. Are we getting T2 mass extractor upgrades yet? We are not, on this side at least. Ajax moving out to this side, depending on that early reclaim to pump up his economy numbers to get all these units out. Floating nicely in the center bar for Ajax, 5k reclaim so far with a steady income of 31. Winston Smith with a total of 22 income, however, has reclaimed 5,000 mass. So both of these guys are going to be running neck and neck on the incomes, and both of them are relatively well power balanced as well. Winston Smith, though, stalling quite a bit harder on mass due to his larger amount of build power. I'm not sure how to call this thing. It is way too early to do so, but one comment that I do have is it would appear that on the left there is a greater number of yellow units. That Cellin, of course, not taking damage because it is cloaked, so it's just going to calmly stand there pretending to be a tree as all of those tanks move by it. We've got a drop on the right, so Ajax is actually going to be able to secure this expansion more quickly. Disgusting amount of T1 there. Yep. That's not good. So we've got a center raid that is going to be able to take out at least 1 mass extractor, possibly 2, but I doubt it because there are tanks moving in that direction. Looks like T1 units moving through the center. Got to be careful not to get too close to the civilians because those point events will take you out without any consideration for the trip that you may have been on to get there. The difficulties that you went through traversing the difficult terrain. Nope, they're just straight up going to kill you. 4 engineers landed. Probably going to be a mech, a factory, and a radar. Or a factory and a point events. I could be totally wrong about that. Got 1 out of 3. That's not a good track record. Brink, stop it with your predictions. Okay then, why am I talking to myself? Probably because I am turning delirious. Over on the right, there are quite a few units flowing through. Looks like since he did go for this expansion and he knows that the ACU is down there, he is going to divert the greater amount of units to that side. I am mildly surprised. Ah, there it is, that I've not seen T2 yet. There's the T2 going for a T2 power generator and a second one, probably going to start building pillars out of that, but as of yet, nothing has been queued. On this side, we are looking at a T2 air factory upgrade. You got to get one or the other to get those T2 engineers out and up your power supplies. Winston still looking very consolidated. The advantage to this is he's going to cover his choke points well. He's going to have a lot of units in one spot. He's going to be able to kill off any intruders, and he is relatively safe to upgrade a lot of his rear structures. The disadvantage is that he's now down 1 expansion at least, and he's not going to be able to exercise good map control. Units now pouring out towards the north, all factories activated as they dump units into that expansion. Looks like more engineers are moving out for Ajax to finish the reclaim on that side. About the same thing going on for Winston. Ajax at 14k, Ajax at 16k, Winston Smith at 16k. Stop changing around your names. So Winston Smith is about 1,000, maybe 2,000 ahead in reclaim, not by very much. And he is also ahead in total mass income, which is a little weird. He does have 2 T2 mass extractors, about to be 4. And on this side, the first 2 mass extractors have just now begun upgrading. First 3. So So Ajax is a little bit behind on that eco stretch. He can probably make up for it by claiming these expansions, and he may even be able to claim the north side expansion as well, should he scout it and drop it, considering that there's no units over there. But right now it looks like he is just focusing on securing what he already has a hold of. The ACU is building more factories and more point defense. I take back what I said, because he is also dropping the north side, and this is just going to serve as a little bit of protection for the ACU. Sometimes on a map like Via 3 Protectorate, where it's a little large, you might get sideswiped. There might be a lot of units that pop up suddenly, and you want the freedom to be able to move your units out to go attack other portions of the map without having to worry about, oh, my ACU is unprotected. This is going to slow down anything coming through the choke point into the base and protect that commander in just a little bit. 3 land factories going down on the other side. Point defense first with a radar in order to deny any pushes. Well done there indeed. And it looks like the T2 power generators are going to go down very quickly in succession. T2 transport being built. I would imagine that means we're about to see some T1 artillery drops. Maybe all the way back in the base, but we do have T3 land online for Winston. I wondered about that when he didn't start building T2. That was an odd thing to do. Ajax does not have any current intel. He has no idea that there are T3 units hitting the field, and we've now got an extended build of air factories going down in order to catch up on air. So a T2 transport, T1 transport, excuse me, there is no T2 air factory on this side. T1 transport going to pick up that Titan and run it out. That's going to drop it somewhere else on the map, and we'll have to see where she goes. Titan should be able to deal with T1 units pretty handily. Might just be, actually it is, might just be a ferry order to the front line so that those Titans don't have to run all the way up there. Already dropped several off. It would be fun to see those going out after the expansions, but I suppose this point defense would make it a little difficult for something like a Titan to be effective. All right, here we go. About to send out the alert. Ajax now knows that there is T3 on the field. He has failed at scouting, and he needs to get that taken care of. He is loading up for artillery drops now, so he may be able to shut this down, but something to consider is the fact that if there are Titans building in the back of the base, the Titans are going to be one of the single best units for defending against these artillery drops other than total air control. Ajax very far behind on air, so he's not going to be able to deny these drops. Also, he should be concerned about the T1 transports that are picking up his units, carrying them to the front line. They are so fragile. Yep, he's going to lose a Titan in that one and then lose his other transport. Incoming drops. Going to go directly for the power. Titan coming out not as quickly as it might. This drop is going to be extremely successful. Drop there. Target down the artillery or target down the power immediately, I should say. He scouted in ahead of time to see what was going on. And it looks like he was actually able to deny that Titan with a little volley of artillery that popped out. Gonna move to the other side, get away from the T1 point defense. Those power generators are now in a perilous situation. Zooies are still taking fire from the T1 PD. Another drop on this side. T3 factory, you gotta get a Titan out, otherwise this place is screwed. Winston Smith down to 1.3k power income with the death of the second T2 power generator. That is going to bring on a vicious power stall. He's already feeling it. Got T1 tanks in the mix as well on this side, being a little less careful about how the drops go. Titans running into point defense on the right-hand side as they try to move up. Of course, Titan's just not going to be appropriate for killing those point defense. They are going to die horribly. Even more T1 artillery dropping into the base. Save the T2 power generator alive. 1.3k power income preserved. But the rest of these already are going to move forward and attempt to kill that. They will be successful, I think. T2 engineer coming out. Why are you not building more Titans? Did you not correct your build queue? Here comes the T2 power generator deaths that we have dreaded. And that is going to knock him back down to 600 power income. Not enough to build in a modern day situation. You gotta have those teched up power generators for your high level tiers. The T2 mass extractors are going to do no good. They do no damage, pausing them even to try and save his power situation. T1 units going to flood over the expansion where there was a T2 power generator building that is going to shut down Winston Smith even harder, who has dropped down another 100 in power income. He is going to be able to knock out this entire expansion, take all of the T2 mass extractors that were over there. I think that was a T2, if I'm not totally mistaken. Yes, it was. And the T1s, and he will be free to move in on the other base. Those transports are still in the air, as well as a T2 gunship, which appears to be Ajix's chosen method of dealing with the madness. T2 power generator now rebuilding. Hopefully he will be able to get that online. Also building with T1 power generators, but this side is now going to get run over by the same wave of T1 units that has hit from the north. This is not going to be good for the base. Titans moving in to try and eliminate the T1 units. Another engineer being built. Son, you gotta get those Titans out. Move your units to the north. You are still in this. Ajix is not that far ahead of you. He's only got artillery in his base to defend. You've got the units to win this. You just gotta put them in the right places. Still with the T2 engineers building. Is there going to be enough in this base to deny this? I don't think so. I think that Titan is going to die to the T1 tanks. Unfortunate though that outcome may be. And now the main base is going to get swept under. We've got the T2 power generator online, still going to try building the T1 point defense. I don't know that it's going to be enough. Pulling all of these in from the other side. Winston Smith moving over towards the center. You need to get your ACU in there, you son of a gun. Units moving into Ajix's base now. He's going to start losing his build power. He's got T2 point defense down, but there's still the potential for a power kill. Get revenge for that devastating blow. Going to go for the T2 power next to the build power. First of all, that's going to reduce the HP on that point defense and kill off a lot of the build power. Going to move in, go for another power generator kill on the south side. That T2 power is going to get killed off once again. We've now got total eradication of Winston Smith's base. Looks like it might be the same for the north side. The Titans are still alive. They are able to kill off all of this stuff, but right now it does look like Ajix has the better map control. He has the higher unit count. It comes down to whether or not Winston Smith can follow through. Ajix down to 1,000 power income. Winston Smith down to 240, which is decidedly insufficient for dealing with any of this crap, trying to build stuff and pausing as he runs out of power. More T1 power generators going down on this side. He's got the T2 support factory, which can pump out T1 units at a higher rate. Looks like that is what he is doing, getting engineers on the field. He's about to lose all of his build power on this side, while over here, he's now down to basically just the Titans, trying to eliminate power as quickly as he can, but there's still 1.3k alive on this side. A T2 power has come online for Ajix, and a second one is on the way. I think that is GG. Ajix was able to recover, even after taking a devastating blow to the base, and now it's up to Winston to die. Whether he does so gracefully or with a Control K, I know not, but there's now units moving in that could potentially be enough to knock out that commander. That was a hell of a fight right there. Awesome to see Titans being used. That speedy movement, the ability to kill T1 very efficiently thanks to their high rate of fire. It's all good stuff, but I can't help but wonder in the back of my mind whether we would have gotten farther with pillars. We will never know, but as it was a good fight. Alright, Winston, your time to die has come. And there it goes. That was a 3 and a 4 vet T1 artillery. Holy smokes. They killed a lot of mass. And the 3 Titans are still alive, dodging around to this very day. That is gonna wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.